Welcome to the Alcohol Reset, the podcast that helps you reset your habits, health, and relationship with alcohol without judgment or extremes. If you're looking to cut back, take a break, or just understand how drinking can affect your body and mind, you're in the right place. Each episode brings you science-backed insights on neuroscience, nutrition, and habit change to help you feel better, sleep deeper, and take control on your terms. I'm Mike Hardenbrook, best-selling author, neuroscience enthusiast, and habit change expert. I've helped thousands through my book and podcast to rethink their drinking, and now I'm here to help you do the same. Let's get started. Hey, Mike Hardenbrook here. So, you know how we usually talk about the big obvious stuff with alcohol, hangovers, right? Your head pounding the next morning. We all know that feeling. But let's shift gears for a minute. What about the sneaky ways even? Like a casual drink might be messing with what you really want, those personal goals you're working so hard on. Yeah, think about it. Maybe you're trying to clean up your eating habits, or finally get that side project off the ground, get your finances sorted, or just be consistent. Actually go to the gym regularly. Could that drink you have, maybe Friday night and maybe a couple times a week, could it actually be slowing you down more than you think? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Look, this isn't about telling you to quit drinking entirely, not at all. Instead, we're going to unpack the less obvious ways that even moderate drinking can kind of quietly sabotage your motivation, your focus too, and those routines you're trying so hard to build. And yet, even the small decisions you make every day that honestly add up over time. Ever feel like you're spinning your wheels? Like you're putting an effort on your goals, but just not getting the traction you expect. Maybe feeling a bit stuck. Well, let's explore something you might not have fully considered. Alcohol. Let's get into it. Okay, first up, motivation. That initial spark, right? That feeling that gets you excited to chase after something new. Dopamine is huge here. It's like your brain's reward chemical, kicking in when you anticipate something good happening. But here's the catch with alcohol. Having a drink gives you a pretty immediate dopamine hit. Feels good, sure. The problem is, if you're drinking regularly, even moderately, like a few times a week, it can actually start to lower your baseline dopamine levels. So the drink gives you that temporary boost. But overall, you might find yourself with less natural excitement, less energy for things that aren't drinking, suddenly working on that passion project, or even just making a healthy dinner. It just doesn't seem as appealing somehow. Does that sound familiar? Maybe losing interest in hobbies you used to love, or just finding it really, really hard to get started on something you know you need to do, or maybe you're great at starting, but terrible at sticking with it. That pull towards the quick reward from alcohol can kind of make those longer term goals feel less shiny, less worth the effort. But it's not just about getting started, is it? The real game changer is consistency. And that's where routines come in. And alcohol can really mess with those routines. And I'm not just talking about the night you're actually drinking. It's the next day that often takes a hit. Think about how you feel after even just one or two drinks. Maybe you stay up a bit later than planned. Your sleep quality probably takes a dive, even if you don't notice it consciously. And you wake up feeling, well, maybe not terrible, but definitely not 100%, right? A bit sluggish. Suddenly, that healthy smoothie you planned, maybe toast or something greasy sounds better. That morning workout session feels like a massive chore. And focusing on your side hustle, hitting snooze feels way more attractive. These little shifts, they seem small, but they can create this domino effect. Your whole day gets kind of thrown off track. Meal prepping for the week probably gets pushed. That meditation habit you were building, that content calendar you laid out, suddenly looks overwhelming. Alcohol creates these subtle ripples that just disrupt your momentum. It really does. And speaking of getting derailed, let's talk about the all or nothing trap. Oh man, we've all been there. You're doing great, feeling good about your progress, and then one little slip up happens. Maybe you had a couple more drinks than you meant to on Friday night. You miss your Saturday workout. And suddenly your brain goes, oh, guess this whole week is shot. Might as well just start again Monday. Sound familiar? There's actually a name for this, the abstinence violation effect. And here's the sneaky part. Alcohol seems to lower our resilience. It makes us less able to handle those small bumps in the road. So instead of just saying, okay, missed one workout, no big deal, back at it tomorrow, that slightly off, maybe tired or fuzzy feeling after drinking makes it way easier to just throw in the towel on the whole goal for a while. It's like our ability to bounce back just shrinks. Now, it's not just messing with future plans like motivation routines. Alcohol also affects your decision-making right now. In the moment, even small amounts can do this. You know the front part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex. That's your executive control center. Impulse control, planning, good judgment. That's his job. Even one drink can start to dim the lights there a little. What happens? Suddenly clicking buy now on something you don't really need feels easier, less resistance. Ordering takeout instead of making that healthy meal you planned. Yeah, seems like a great idea. Saying yes to social things you're not actually excited about. Sure, why not? Or just getting lost scrolling on your phone for an hour when you meant to be productive. It just happens. These seem like tiny decisions, right? Insignificant, but they add up, they snowball. And each one pushes those bigger long-term goals just a little bit further away. And it's not just the rational thinking part. Alcohol can amplify our emotions too. Think about the day after. Even if you didn't overdo it, you might be a bit tired, maybe dehydrated, your brain chemistry is still kind of rebalancing itself. And in that state, little things can feel huge. Small setbacks feel like major catastrophes. That slightly critical comment from your boss stings way more than usual. Self-doubt, well, it moves right in and gets comfortable, makes itself at home. You just find you have less patience for the process, for the challenges that come with pursuing goals. And if your goals require things like, creativity or putting yourself out there, being courageous, or just plain consistent effort day after day, being in that more emotionally reactive state makes all of that feel so much harder, like wading through mud. Now, here's the really important part to grasp. You don't have to be drinking heavily for this stuff to happen. Seriously, even just a few drinks spread out over the week can have this kind of subtle chipping away effect. It could dull your focus, sap your energy, maybe knock your confidence a bit. It eats into the time you could be using productively. It tests your self-discipline. That's the often overlooked cost of what many people consider just normal drinking. It's not necessarily about big dramatic blow-ups. It's more about this gradual erosion, this slow leak of the very resources you need: energy, focus, resilience to build the life you want. It's almost like you're hitting a tiny snooze button on your future self over and over with these small disruptions. Okay, so what can you actually do? If you're listening to this and thinking, maybe this applies to me. Like I said, the goal isn't necessarily total abstinence unless that feels right for you. It's more about awareness, about being intentional. So here are a few practical things you could try. First, maybe make a why list. Seriously, grab a piece of paper, write down your top, say, 3 goals, get really clear on them. Then, next to each goal, just brainstorm a few specific ways that alcohol might be even subtly getting in the way. And then add this: what could you achieve? What progress could you make if you had just 30 days truly focused on those goals without that interference? That can be powerful. Second idea, try shifting your mindset. Move away from drinking being just automatic, like it's Tuesday, I have a drink. Make it a conscious choice. Before you pour that glass, just pause and ask yourself, does having this drink right now actually line up with the person I'm trying to become, the life I'm trying to build? Sometimes the answer might still be yes, and that's fine, but make it a deliberate decision, not just a habit. Here's another little practical tip I like. Plan your next morning before you decide to drink. Like, if you think you might have a glass of wine tonight, schedule something important or enjoyable for tomorrow morning first. Maybe it's that workout you actually like, or dedicated time for your creative project, or coffee with a friend. Having that positive thing locked in can make you more mindful about your evening choices because you're thinking about your future self. Another really effective strategy: just try taking a break, even a short one, like 1 week, no alcohol. And during that week, pay close attention. Track things. How's your sleep? Your energy levels during the day, your focus, your mood. Compare how you feel during that break versus your typical week. The difference might actually surprise you. Okay, so wrapping this up, the main takeaway isn't that alcohol is inherently evil or anything like that. It's really about understanding these often quite subtle ways it can influence you, your motivation, your habits, your choices, and ultimately how it can affect your journey towards the things that genuinely matter to you. So maybe take a moment after this. Reflect honestly on your own goals, your own life. Is alcohol currently serving as a helpful tool? Or could it be, perhaps, one of those hidden brakes holding you back? Remember, it's not necessarily about quitting forever. It's about making informed choices, intentional choices, choices that actually support the future you're trying to create. And here's a final thought to leave you with. Just by becoming aware of these subtle influences, you gain power. You empower yourself to take steps that are more aligned with your values, more consistent, and ultimately, way more rewarding on the path to your aspirations. Thanks for tuning in today. That's a wrap for today's episode. If you got something out of this, do me a quick favor, leave a rating and review on whatever podcast platform you're listening on. It helps keep the show going and would mean the world to me. Got ideas, comments, or questions? Shoot me an email at mike@trycloud9.com. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're looking for extra support, check out Cloud9, makers of Daily Restore, a once-a-day supplement to support your body from alcohol's effects, and Rise and Unwind AM/PM, a 24-hour combo to curb cravings, balance mood, and improve sleep when taking a break. Go to trycloud9.com and use the code PODCAST to save 15% on your next order. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time.